right, so how are we gonna open this up?
Fuck if I know.
Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 5 of Adulting is Hard, the Ken and Kyle podcast. I am Kyle, your number one host, because I am the most beautiful and well-spoken.
I don't know.
And over there is the dumb shit helmet-wearing Ken.
I'm not wearing a helmet right now. I haven't eaten any crayons since this morning.
You left it at the front door. You couldn't fit through the
It wouldn't get through. It's too big, yeah. No.
How's it going, everybody? I hope you're doing all right. You're surviving this pandemic.
Hey, we're getting to the end of this thing, I think.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it as we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. If not, we're seeing a second wave of pandemic.
Well, the most beautiful news that I have received recently is 2 days ago, my boss texted me and said, we're back to work. So,
just like
I'm
that.
Fucking stuck, just like that. It's been 6 weeks. 6 weeks since I've been
Has
furloughed.
it been 6 weeks?
6 weeks, yeah.
I
6
can't
weeks
remember. I got paid every week, so I don't know.
I didn't.
I know.
Well, lucky you.
And I have to go back to work, I think, the 4th, but, I'm not sure if I'm going to. Well, I really don't know.
Well, that's your choice. I'm going back to work because I love what I do.
Well, and you're also poor.
I need money. I don't get money if I don't work.
You're also poor.
I'm also poor. If you've seen my house.
No, I'm not rich or anything, but I'm just thinking, like my wife is taking extra shifts. The kids are home from school for the rest of the year. I don't know.
Yeah, how has that been going? Because you have a son who's, how old? 11?
He's 10. He's in the 4th grade.
So how's that going? Kind of explain to everybody, like, how is that going with like schooling and such? Okay,
nothing against the school he goes to. They've been amazing. Okay, they got him a Chromebook. They deliver meals every day. But I will say him doing the Zoom conferences and the homework assignments that are available, I'm going to say are substantially less than the in-class work. Okay, so he's going to skate through 4th grade here at the end. But we've been doing things like giving him 100 spelling words, things like that to practice, so that when he goes to the 5th grade, so there's not going to be a holdback, and he keeps up on his assignments, but there's definitely not, it has not been as intensive as if he's in the class. And I'm pretty sure that's across the board. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to say, and I've heard a lot of people struggling with doing that, having the kids home, having the wife and the husband home all the time. I get it. Right? That's what work is part of, is getting out. But he's doing great. I mean, they're doing okay. And
you know what I feel real bad about is that, like the class of 2020 for high school, is that they're not even getting a graduation. They can't walk across. They can't walk across the stage and get that diploma. But that's a huge milestone for anybody's life, is to graduate high school and you get to walk across the stage and grab your diploma and
say bye to all the people you'll never see again and hang out with.
Exactly. Well, okay. I mean, you'll have a select few. I still talk to a bunch of friends from high school.
I don't like them.
But also, like, they didn't get a prom. And prom is like the number one thing you remember from high school.
I was banned.
Well, you suck. You were in jail in high school. So.
I was not in jail. I was on probation. But I'm just saying, like, no, to me, that's cool and all.
That's called a psychology. That's called a psych ward.
Yeah. So my whole thing is, I get that. There's going to be that. There's people missing sports, pro sports level chances to go back, say, and play one more year of college before you go to the pros. I mean, things are being forced. Mm-hmm. And if this is the worst of the pandemic, in a sense, besides the economic crash around the world, which will take us years to rebuild.
Yeah. Okay.
If not graduating on stage in 2020 is something that you hold on to for the rest of your life, you need therapy. Okay.
Well, I don't think it's people are going to be holding on to it. It's just, it's a milestone. And, when you look back on it when you're older, you'll be like, yeah, I remember walking across the stage. My parents are upstairs.
I hated high school.
Well, you.
I
hated high school too. That's
true. Where I went to high school.
Do I though?
Do you?
Do I?
You know the Seattle.
Yeah, you went to.
You went to a private school.
Not by choice.
It doesn't matter.
I am a recovering Catholic, as they call it.
You should be. There's no recovering. You're just born with sin. You'll die of sin.
I'm not.
No, so I feel for them. I do. I get it. I get it. So maybe they could do something a little bit later. Okay, we know the school years aren't going to resume. Okay, even though President Trump thought it'd be okay to reopen them like a month before the end of whatever. So maybe they'll get to do something later on. Maybe this thing passes. They invite them all back. They do something. I mean, it's not the end of it. It's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of it. Of course not. It's just every class except for them will be able to look back on that.
No, promise you. You go through history. There was a reason why classes were canceled. You see what I'm saying? I bet you, or the graduation was canceled. There's other instances.
Sure.
World War, whatever it may be. I want to say remember the giant tornadoes in
Arkansas?
Was it Arkansas? Wiped out the whole town?
When, recently?
No, a few years ago.
Oh.
Okay, wiped out the whole town. And then the fires at Paradise in California.
Which I was actually, because as you guys know, I told you before, I'm in the National Guard. I was actually called up to go do that. And speaking of the, completely off topic, but I had to go do quote unquote body recovery.
Yes.
And
go looking for people in their cars and stuff like that.
And I couldn't sleep for 3 days at least.
But you saw the devastation. They still did a graduation thing later on though, for that class that year. So people, the resilience of humans or society, they will figure something out. Okay, sure. These kids will get to celebrate it some way. But I mean, there are so many other things that have been taken away from us from this. And my favorite is like go sit down in a Mexican restaurant, eat some food, right? I mean, I'm sick and tired of having getting curbside pickup.
Okay, just real quick, the Mexican food around here sucks.
There's a couple good spots. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Any of them, then?
I know where they're at, and I'm not going to tell you.
They're not.
I'm not going to tell you.
Are they as good as from where we're from?
Better than like El Pueblito, where we used to go down there.
Really? Mm-hmm. La Única?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we were just down there. I was not just down there, but I mean.
Are you saying you crossed state lines
I
against
stay-at-home orders? I did not cross state lines. I did not. And then if anybody comes at me with them. Did you quarantine
for 14 days?
What do you think I'm doing right now?
Well, you're not quarantined. I'm in
a building.
7 feet.
I'm in a building.
Okay.
I'm not out in public spitting at people.
That's what you usually do, though.
I know, but I'm not doing it now. Now it's a domestic terrorist act.
I know, right?
All right. So no. I mean, what I'm saying is that there's good Mexican food here in Twin. Absolutely.
Wait, here in Twin? Yes. We're not in Twin.
Oh wait, Twin Cities, Minnesota. Twin Cities, Twin Cities, Minnesota. Everybody knows where we're at, and that's fine.
Twin Cities, Minnesota.
Isn't that where they're at? Twin Cities, Minnesota? No.
I don't know.
Oh, fuck, I don't know.
Are they?
But if anybody's, I'm in Twin Falls, fucking Idaho. If you don't like it, I don't care. If you like it, I like it. Okay?
Sure.
I'll sign autographs. When I see you guys, I'll sign autographs, dude. Which is usually me drawing a dick on there. And
you might have like 60,000 subscribers trying to get your autograph.
That's okay.
That's what we're up to.
All I got is time right now. That's all I got is time. We're at what now?
We're at over 60,000, I believe.
Subscribers?
Yeah.
No.
6,000.
6,000. Holy shit. Okay, how come none of
you? But we're gonna get to that later. We'll shelve that.
I want emails from these people. Come at me.
I know.
I don't care.
So here's a complaint.
Yeah.
So we have 6,000 subscribers, and on our last podcast, we had over it was like 400,000
interactions.
Interactions,
yeah.
And we didn't receive one email.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you guys?
Do people not know how to email?
Send us bullshit. I don't care.
Give a shit.
But we need to fill up that email. We need to fill up that email box because our sponsors are breathing down our necks saying we need more interactions. We point out, we got 400,000. They said that's not good enough because you're not getting emails.
Yep. So email us. Don't be afraid or be afraid. It don't matter.
Don't make me create 6,000 fucking email addresses and then email.
Yeah, let's
don't make me do it. Don't make me do that.
Yeah, no. So you guys need to like email us or do something. I don't give a shit.
Just to remind you, that email is podcast.adultingishard@gmail.com.
Not that hard to remember.
What? What?
I said not that hard to remember.
No. Wait, what was it?
Podcast.adultingishard@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Hit us up. Let us know. So we have another great episode for you guys. I know this is only 5, but we're making great progress here. We have it was probably our best interview so far with one of the biggest YouTubers out there, Jonathan Katz-Moses. If you haven't checked him out, go over to his YouTube page.
It's all good.
Just all you got to do is search Jonathan Katz and Katz with a K, and he'll pop up. He's the first one. He's got freaking awesome videos. They're really cool.
I was watching him. He does some great, crazy stuff with wood and projects. So
yeah, just like home improvement and just kind of fun little projects. Mm-hmm. So check him out, and then after that, we're gonna have. It's gonna be kind of different than what you're gonna be used to. Basically, we're gonna have a negative. Yeah, we're gonna have a negative news cycle, but then we're going to have a positive news cycle. So we're going to look at both things on this. We got a couple things to say on both sides of the spectrum. What has been going wrong with everything out here? There's a couple things I know was on Ken's mind. He's been wanting to talk about it. He's been pissed off. He's been ranting to me over fucking FaceTime, and he's calling me like 10 times a day saying, "Oh,
because you're my only friend."
I know, and I got to remember that and take that into account.
Don't hurt my feelings.
But on the flip side of that, we also have a bunch of news articles and things going on that are actually really positive coming out of this pandemic.
Let's look at the good side of what people are doing.
People helping other people and, having fun and coming together as a community and seeing really the impact that we're having, what this pandemic is having on us, not in a negative way, but in a positive way. So that's another real fun section. This is actually the first time we're going to do something like that. It's have like a positive thing. Most of our shit's just like depressing and dark. And
most of it's just big dumpster fire of random shit.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty random.
Yeah.
But then also coming at you, we got a studio update. We're going to let you know what's going on over here, all our new equipment. We're going to tell you about our new sponsors that we have.
Our OnlyFans site.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to tell you about some of the upcoming episodes. We have a true crime episode coming up.
Ooh, this is a good one.
Episode 6? Yeah, it's the next one. It's a really awesome one. We'll even give you a little kind of tidbit. We're going to tell you who it is and what the crime was. We're not going to do the whole episode on it, but we'll tell you what it's about.
We'll give you a little update.
Yeah, but we're going to also tell you about our website that's coming out, the different platforms, and then for episode, I don't know, it's going to be 7, 8, 9, somewhere down the line.
I think it's 7.
Our actual video podcast that you guys will be able to watch. I don't know if you're going to want to see my ugly ass. I might have to put a green screen on my face, like get a mask that's just green and fucking put something on.
Brad Pitt's face over him.
Exactly.
They're going to want to see this. They want to see this. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I mean, I get that.
Not so much here, but here.
Here.
And then after that, to finish it all off, as you know, like we do every single episode, we have a Florida Man article. That is.
We would finish it off with some answers to mailbag.
I don't know how we keep doing it, but we top ourselves every single episode. We're topping ourselves with Florida Man.
Yeah, we find. I mean,
there's just an endless amount of Florida Man. But remember,
we are gonna if we have to deviate from Florida Man just because somebody in Ohio posts something amazing, we'll do it. We'll switch it up.
Have an Ohio Man episode?
Yeah. I mean, other states do some stupid shit. Yeah. Right? I mean,
it's not just Florida, but Florida's the most popular. I mean.
Well, it's bath salts, and then the rest is genetics.
Bath salts and genetics, yeah.
Bath salt
obviously.
And genetics,
exactly. That's the two things that make up the population of Florida.
And bad voting.
And old people.
And old people waiting to die. Sorry, Florida.
It's the seatbelt state. I mean, what? Anyway, guys, we're going to take a quick break. And as we said, we have the Jonathan interview coming up with us. He's going to be joining us in studio for an interview that we had to do over Zoom because of obvious reasons with the pandemic and shit. Can't do it in person.
Pandemic's stupid.
Yeah. Oh. I don't know about stupid, but...
It's stupid.
It's stupid.
It's stupid. It's like when it's 110 outside, the sun is stupid. Anything is stupid. Work is stupid. Anything that disrupts my life, it makes me not feel right or whatever. It's stupid.
Anyway, guys, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with you. Stay tuned for the Jonathan Katz-Moses interview. It's a great one. And we'll be right back with it. Adulting is hard. We know that this quarantine has not been fun for anyone. We're locked away, everything's closed, and there's nothing to do. By this point, you've probably watched every movie in your collection 3 times. Well, I have a solution for you. Head on over to metro-entertainment.com for some real boredom killers. You'll find comic books, toys, games, trading cards, action figures, and a whole lot more. There's something for everyone in the family. Metro is working hard to get you the entertainment you crave, including shipping to anywhere in the U.S. You can also find Metro Entertainment on Facebook, where they have announcements for upcoming games and series. There's nothing like a good comic book to keep you going. Be sure to mention the podcast when ordering. Metro Entertainment, where games meet reality. All right, guys, and we're back. Thank you for waiting. I hope you had some time to go grab a drink, take a piss, do whatever you want to.
Wash your hands.
Yeah. Actually, on the line this time, we have Jonathan Katz-Moses, who has his own podcast. Well, not a podcast, but a YouTube episode.
Channel.
This
guy has a large YouTube channel.
Cult following almost.
Cult following, yes. That's tax-free. Culture tax-free. Just putting that out there.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah,
definitely. So, Jonathan, for our listeners, you want to tell them who you are, what you do, and kind of how you got into it?
There you go.
My name's Jonathan Katz-Moses. Like you said, I'm a YouTuber, full-time YouTuber, an inventor. My channel's focused on fine woodworking. I invent tools for woodworking, and I teach people how to grow their craft and how to become better furniture builders. I have a kind of unique woodworking channel in the sense that a lot of people do projects and they'll do a full build. Whereas we do projects, but we also do lots of instructional content on little pieces of woodworking and how to really kind of fine tune your skills. And because of the way my channel's set up, we get out probably 3 or 4 times more videos than anyone else in my genre. So, last year we put out 87 videos, and I'd say most woodworking channels put out roughly 25 to 35 videos. So put out a ton of great content. I have my cameraman and editor is one of the most phenomenal guys in the game, and we shoot everything in 4K video, so it's high definition. We have a lot of fun, focus on positivity and the fact that everybody starts somewhere and we just all want to get better.
There you go. I like that. So even for the beginners, the guy who's got 2 pieces of wood and a handsaw and goes, I want to build whatever, he could start with some of your earlier material and learn the basic skills, like you said, and then refine that.
Certainly. And not just my earlier material, any of my material is very bite-sized, and, we do cover advanced techniques, but we also work on some of the basic skills of woodworking, basic tools, basic skills, and we get all the way up into really high skill level type stuff.
All right. Now, prior to this, what was your trade? Was it carpentry?
Okay. I owned a construction company.
Okay.
We did framing and concrete and finished carpentry. But at that time, I didn't have a ton of experience. I'd always loved making things. And I got into the construction business as a businessman. And my partner was a phenomenal builder. And we grew it to be a very large company. We built some massive developments here in Santa Barbara, California, where I'm based out of, including, I think, Kyle, you'd be familiar with Santa Barbara area. We did the open air market, the Charles Schwab building. We've done tons of big projects. We had about 30 to 50 employees. And, I just hated it. I absolutely hated construction. And a few years before I quit, I had a incident in Santa Barbara where I was beat up by about 10 gangbangers. I saved I saved a couple from getting murdered. These guys had them surrounded with weapons, and I stepped in, and the couple was able to get away, and I paid pretty dearly for it. In fact, it was the last video we released on our channel called Storytime, Turning Tragedy to Triumph, No 0 Days. And I talk about the incident and how I derived strength from it and really use that to focus on what I wanted out of life and really change my life. And so I walked away from my construction company. I had a Christmas light installation company, which I sold about 1.5 years ago, that I started when I was 20 years old. So I still had that, but I walked away from the construction company and just said, I'm only going to do things that make me happy from now on, from here on out. And that was furniture building. And I invented this tool pretty early on in my furniture building career that I thought was pretty neat. So I started a YouTube channel to get free advertising. I didn't have any money at the time. And it sort of grew, and I didn't expect it to. I started putting out videos, and people liked what I was doing, and they liked my tool. And then it sort of grew into what you see today, where we have 250,000 followers and get, $750,000 to 1.5 million views a month.
Outstanding. So a life-changing moment. A lot of people who are familiar with Santa Barbara, who maybe visit, I'm from Santa Maria, born in California, raised in that area. Would think that being by the beach, it's this prestige, it's that community. But then, like you said, they don't understand that there's a seedier or dark side to it. And you helped out a couple folks like you did, saved their lives to pay a price. And then, so there's your life-changing moment. And now you're doing what makes you happy, which I think anybody, other than, unfortunately, the assault or any pain and suffering, the opportunity to do what makes you happy. I think anybody should take that up. They should take that chance. Like you said,
I always tell people, don't wait for your life to be almost taken to make something out of it. And I think it's really important.
Great advice.
You see a lot of people change their lives after a heart attack or a near-death experience. And I always tell people, don't wait to come to that moment of realization. Life is so precious, and you really just, I know some people feel stuck sometimes and that they can't get out of what they're doing, but that's just never the case.
I believe that's the majority of the way people think is, say you've been doing something for 20 years, the construction business. You said, I absolutely hated it. I don't know which part it was. It may have been the managing and getting everything together, but the fun part was putting something together. But if you're no longer involved in that, and you're just the guy who's getting the project lined up, and then everybody else gets to do what you would think is the fun part, which is building something. Right. I can see where you're just like, there's good money and all, but am I happy? No.
Yeah, I mean, the problem I always had was just at the end of every single construction project, and every single one that's ever been done since the history of time, I would say 99% of the time, everyone's angry. It took too long, it cost too much, and the builder's trying to get paid, and customer doesn't want to, it costs more than they were expecting, and they either ran out of money or, it's a nightmare at the end, and it just, nobody's happy at the end.
Or the push to complete it sooner. That's the other one is, I poured concrete before I used to do with Woody, and it was, be here by 6, we need this slab, everything needs to be poured. And then right after that, it was continuously doing one after the other, because everybody's project to them was number one on the list.
Certainly.
Right. And so poured concrete sucks. I'll tell you that right now. It sucks.
Yeah. And it's nobody's dream to pour concrete.
No, but Woody was built for it. You remember that guy?
Yeah.
He was big enough to hold the hose one hand.
So
and just do that.
So Jonathan, after you started doing your YouTube channel and that sort of thing, what point did you see that you thought, like, holy shit, like this can actually be a job for me? Like I can actually make money off of this. I can become a big guy. At what point did you see yourself, like, the numbers increasing and your popularity rising?
It was, I think what the misconception that people have about creators is that YouTube pays you lots of money. It's just simply not the case. As a business grows, I would say YouTube ad revenue is maybe 2% of my business. A person who is successful in the content creation arena figures out how to monetize their audience, and they figure out how to create things that audience will find desirable. Now, I've been very lucky, which is I've come up with several tools that seem to be incredibly popular and very well received. And so that's been great for me, but there's lots of different ways that you can generate revenue as a content creator. And so when I saw that it was going to be a job for me, it was when my product started to sell like a couple a day. I'd be like, oh my gosh, and I was hand making these every day and selling them for like $28. And I started to, first it was 2, and then it was 10 a day. And then I, started to make a couple $100, and it was like, oh my gosh, I could maybe do something with this. And then I started putting out more videos, and then, after a while, it just sort of develops into this whole business. I hired an employee, and then I hired a cameraman and an editor, and, I was losing money. I saw the potential, and so I was investing heavily in my business, and I think I went full time when I had 10,000 subscribers, which is nearly impossible. It's, if someone today with 10,000 subscribers would say that's impossible. But I saw the potential there, and I knew that I could grow it. And so I would work other jobs. I'd I had my lighting company and I would build furniture for people, and I would use all that money to grow the YouTube content creation side. And I think when it really started to really, really turn into a big business was, after 100,000 subscribers, when I got that. And then I was, I had a really loyal audience, and, I think as a content creator, the biggest thing you need to remember is that your integrity is everything. So I've never pushed a product that I was paid to push that I didn't believe in. I only have 3 sponsors right now. I choose my sponsors very carefully, and I only I never work with a company one time. If they want to have an ongoing relationship, it's almost always somebody that I reach out to because I already use their stuff and I believe in it. And I say, look, I use your stuff. I could get behind it. I can tell people how great it is. And if you want to work together, let's do this. And so that's, I think, a mistake that a lot of people make is they get to 50,000 subscribers and they start to go, oh my God, I'm not making any money. YouTube pays barely anything. Like, I need to juice this up. And they start taking on sponsors that just, they don't believe in. And, you see a lot of people do advertisements for companies that aren't even in their genre. And it's just people taking a little bit of money up front, not realizing that if you hold on to your integrity and your word, that down the road that will pay dividends that far exceed any monetary gain that you can get from a single sponsor now.
That's great advice. The thing I see with Twitch is G Fuel and some of these other products that are kind of targeting, say, gamers. And the big scam on there is I've had them reach out on my Twitch channel where they're like, hey, if you buy some of our controller add-ons or whatever, we'll sponsor you. I'm like, but wait a minute, I have to buy your product for you to sponsor me. And so that's like the number one thing on there. And I see a lot of people get caught up in that, and they'll put in their profile that they're sponsored by these certain controller add-ons or like whatever. But if you have to pay for that
sponsorship,
it's not right, I think. And so basically what you're saying is wait for the opportunity. And also, if you believe in a product,
like something that you use every day,
that you do use, like, we were talking about like Respawn, the chair I got, at home. I'm going to reach out to them. I believe in their product. It saves my back.
Right.
And so maybe we can work some with them. So that's good advice. Like, don't be afraid to reach out, I guess, maybe if you believe in what they do.
Absolutely. And, brands are not looking for, I think another common misconception, I think 2 things. Let me backtrack just a little bit. Any advice I would give to somebody who wants to be a successful content creator is that it is going to be hundreds of times harder than you think it is. And if you're not willing to invest the time, energy, and money into growing a real loyal audience, you're not going to have something that is going to be long-term. You're just,
Absolutely.
You're basically going to own a full-time job. And that job is you work for YouTube and you work for sponsors, and it only lasts as long as your popularity. And there is no person that will ever be popular their whole life. You look at shows like Seinfeld or Game of Thrones. They had an 8-year run, 9-year run. And I mean, if you're looking at a career, no career, you think 9 years. And so you need to diversify. You need to figure out different ways to grow your business so that if the content creation side starts to dwindle or disappear, you still have all these other things to rely on that are built around you and your brand. But you need to diversify, and you need to grow multiple streams of revenue. And like, for example, my business, I have created a way to write some code and inject it into other YouTubers' websites so that I can download their physical orders to my shipping software. So we distribute.
Interesting.
We distribute templates for them, T-shirts, whatever else they want to sell. We can do all the manufacturing and distribution for them. I do tons of manufacturing of templates. And the customer never knows it comes from me. It looks like it comes from them. But now I've created a part of my business that doesn't rely on my popularity. It relies on the popularity of others, and that may wax and wane for them. But I can always add more creators and do more distribution.
So you use your popularity to grow your business outside of content creation.
Correct.
Okay, and then networking, basically, that's the other thing, involving others with integrity and solve business plans. I got you. And we were talking about that earlier about diversifying what we do. everything from doing voiceover work, maybe a local commercial, to we were just trying to think of different ways, because we know for sure that the number one thing is not going to be the YouTube, like you said. Someone's not going to walk in and say, here's $1 million contract just to mention us a few times each episode. But it's all that little small amounts of income coming in. And then right now we've spent a metric ton of money, and most of what we do is any money I get from like my Twitch channel, we just pay for advertising. Right. That's all we've been doing. We each episode $50 to $100 to Facebook to advertise. We haven't made a dime. It's just to get known.
Right. And that will come. And with any business, you hear traditional businesses, people always say, oh, it's 3 to 5 years before you make a profit. Mm-hmm. It certainly is that way with content creation as well. And, the thing that you see people, they want to become an Instagram influencer and all these things. Instagram.
Oh, God wants to do that.
Yeah. No. I mean, so back to my, what I was going to say before is, brands aren't looking for the biggest creators. They're looking for people with loyal audiences. And somebody with 10,000 subscribers can get sponsors. They just can't, brands love micro influencers because they could spend $10,000 on somebody with 1 million subscribers, let's say, or they could take that $10,000 and split it out over 10 people who have 50,000 subscribers, and they can reach 10 times as many people. And usually people with less subscribers, like 50,000, are going to have a much more loyal audience. And so brands now are branching out into what they call micro influencers, smaller creators, because they can spread their budget out further and reach more people and potentially get more conversions, which is all they care about.
I didn't even think about that, because if you put all your eggs in one basket, say one of the top streamers or whatever, and they shit the bed and do something completely immoral against TOS, they get banned, whatever it may be, and you lose, they lose everything. You lose out on your number one influencer on your brand. I can see that. Okay. So now we need to start small, Kyle. We need to get the local taco truck. These guys, you get what I'm saying?
Cater our shows.
Yeah, bring in a taco plate. I mean, no, I got it. We start small. The newspaper kid, whatever, right? Whatever. I don't think they do anymore, but we got to start small, diversify our portfolio, and trickle in the money.
You go into underwear modeling.
Yeah, that's on our. Was it fans only?
Fans.
We've considered that.
Fans.
Yeah, $20. You can see my butthole. No shame. I said I would never do reality TV, but then someone goes, "What? They gave you $1 million? I'll give you one season."
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm a pretty cheap. I'm a whore. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. But
so, Jonathan, when it comes time to for your next episode, is how do you evolve that idea? Where does the idea start on how you're going to take the next episode? Like, where do you get your ideas from?
That's the hardest part about content creation is coming up with the next content that's going to be valuable to your audience. And for example, this week we did not put out a video. That's maybe the first time we've done that in a year, because I had a great idea. And because of the coronavirus, we ordered some things that we needed for that project, and they didn't come in. They're not going to be here till Monday. And I probably could have come up with something, but it just wouldn't have been authentic. It would have felt shoehorned in.
It's kind of slapped together.
Yeah,
so, it'd be like a filler thing or something.
Right, and so keeping with the theme of keeping your integrity, I don't want to waste 10 minutes of somebody's time with some shitty slap together video. So we just said, let's take a break this week. It's okay. We work real hard. We work about 60 to 80 hours a week. Let's just take a break this week and we'll do this great project next week. But, I keep a notebook with me at all times. So any idea I get, I write it down and I go back to those things. Sometimes I'll carry through themes, like, we'll pick a certain tool and we'll go over different skills for that, for 5-6 videos in a row, culminating in like a big project using mostly that tool. Sometimes I just get weird creative ideas and I go, oh my God, we got to shoot this video today. I just got this idea. But I think the biggest thing is listening to your audience and, reading the comments, responding to the comments, asking for people to say, what would you like to see? Because, there may be things that I think are great, but they just don't go over well. Whereas, I'd say at least 30%, 40% of my videos come from comments. People say, oh, I'd love to see this, or I'd love to see this. And maybe I won't do exactly that, but I'll build on that idea and say, you know what, that's interesting. I could find a way to make that interesting. And
so it still allows you control of your own show. They don't dictate it exactly.
No, but
they have input.
Certainly I want to do videos that are interesting to my audience.
Right.
And make those things compelling and present them in a way that seems digestible by even beginner woodworkers.
So like he had said, so say you come up with an idea, what kind of time frame within a few days are you able to go, this is what I've got in my mind, and then this is what we're going to do? Because sometimes it takes us a week to get together just to put together almost a 2-hour episode of this. Right. And that's what scheduling interviews, time away from work to get to the studio. And then we just make up the rest as we go along. But for you, I can see like if you're doing 80-something videos like you did in a year, substantially more than the average person, and your average length is maybe
8 to 16 minutes, I'd say.
Oh, wow. Okay. And so you kind of get an idea in the shower. You're like, hey, this is great. Call the cameraman. People get the materials, see what you got, and then just kind of go at it.
We are so good at getting out content, and my editor Mark is so phenomenal that we can turn around like a skills video in 24 hours. Build video usually takes probably a week. Okay. No, that's not true. 4 to 5 days. Okay. 'Cause we'll build it 3 or 4 days during the week, and then it's out that Sunday. So we're very good at it. One of the things you learn as you do this for a while is to stop shooting everything. Think about the video. How are you going to edit it? What's the story? What's the plot line? And only shoot the important stuff. One of the things that was really hard for me when I first started was I would shoot everything I did, and then I'd have 300 gigs of video, probably totaling 6-7 hours worth of video that I had to sort through and edit down to a 12-minute video. And, going through all that stuff, it's like, man, 98% of this wasn't used. 99%
4 hours of editing for the 12-minute video, right?
Oh, you got to
or more, or
you have to think an hour to 2 hours per minute of video.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, Kyle, I give credit to Kyle. He learned fast with the editing of this stuff and pre-recording and be able to drop in segments. But the first time, like 8 hours later, he's still down there, bloodshot eyes, going at it like a champ. And but now we've learned.
So that's kind of like my next question to you is what does your production look like? Because I know for us with this 2-hour podcast, it's only audio, but it takes us literally 3 days with everything. That's pre-production, coming up with the structure, doing the interviews, editing everything down, doing the recording itself, and sometimes having to do multiple recordings. So what is an average production what's the average production look like for one of your episodes?
So I come up with an idea, and we either have the things we need or we don't. So I have to procure those. I either order them online or pick them up from a store. Sorry, guys.
Corona.
I either order them. Yeah, sorry, but you're editing that. All right, sorry, I'll go back in.
So, we got you. We'll put in like a squeaky mouse sound or something there.
Yeah. So I either pick those up from the store or I order them online, and then we come in and shoot. And that we need to set up lighting. We change locations in the shop constantly, so we're moving from one tool to the next. We set up lighting. We have to move cords. We set up the camera, the microphones, make sure the microphones have batteries. And that's all something we're very streamlined at. We can do that very quickly. We usually use about 3 lights, 2 microphones, and then we shoot on a Lumix GH5S, which is the only camera right now, except for the 1D Mark II, 3. I think they have the 4 just came out. Sorry, that shoots 4K video at 60 frames a second, which is how you get all that really creamy slow motion, that really beautiful.
I got you. Is that like a DSLR, or is that what we're talking like a nose? Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we go into production. I'm sorry, we go into shooting. We shoot for anywhere from 2 hours to 4 days. And then we go into the editing room, and Mark goes into the editing room. We take a thumbnail shot. We make sure that the thumbnail looks good. Sometimes we'll test that. I have some, private groups I belong to on Instagram. That's other content creators who will bounce ideas off each other. And then we release on Sunday, and my editor and I have gotten so good together that I almost never check his work or make changes. I'll watch it once before we release it, but he's so good and knows exactly what I want that, we just go straight to release. And then from there, you got to do promotion.
Yeah.
So then you go, if it's a project, I'll post it on the woodworking subreddit on Reddit, Facebook, Instagram. I will do both my Instagram feed and a story. And so that's what promotion looks like. And then we watch the metrics and see how it's performing, the click-through rate. And if it has a poor click-through rate, we'll change the thumbnail. And then we'll see where the video goes. I'll respond to all the comments. I try and respond to most comments if possible. It's getting a little hard now at the size we are, but
I bet.
Anything that's a question, the YouTube creators page is very good. You can sort comments by whether they're questions or not, whether you've responded to them or not. So it's pretty easy to find those. And that's kind of the life cycle of a video.
Fair enough. Now, I'm thinking we might have to reach out and start doing the Instagram thing. I just kind of make fun of it as usually some hipster compliment. I didn't realize maybe how important that was to the whole aspect. I mean, we've got we got the Twitters and all that stuff, but maybe Instagram might be something else to do.
Instagram is the most important one. If you're not on Instagram, you're blowing it.
Bro, all right.
Big tip there.
Yeah.
So you're gonna eat crows.
That's
eat crow. I will, because I've shit talked Instagram for so long to people that I'm an Instagram social media influencer, and I just
it's the number one platform. There's more people on there than anywhere else. So
shit. Okay. Wow. Thank you.
All right. Well,
I'm doing it right
now. I've seen quite a few of your videos. What has been your favorite one? Like your favorite project that you did, that you made, or just whatever was your favorite one to do?
Yeah, my favorite one is there's 3 probably. I'd say the last video I released where I finally told the story about me getting beat up and what came of it, that was one of my favorites. It's completely off topic, has nothing to do with what we regularly produce. So all of these are going to be sentimental answers, actually. My second favorite is the box. The memory box I made for my daughter before she was born. Nice. That was substantially emotional video. I put in some very sentimental things in there that I really imagine one day she'll watch, which is super exciting. And then my favorite build to date was I took a radio that was given to my Bubby and Zeta on their wedding day in 1939, and I fully restored it and turned it into a motorized lift top bar. So it's this beautiful 1939 RCA Victor radio. I even found a company that printed all the original decals. I got the original decals. I replaced all those. And then I partnered with a company called TV Lift Cabinets. So they build motorized lifts for TVs. And instead of a TV, I built a bar. So this full bar comes out with, it's got 2 levels. The top level has glasses and mixing components and, cherries and toothpicks. And then the bottom level has bottles and an ice bucket, and it has LED lights and it lights up. And it's just the absolute coolest thing I've ever made, this piece of family history. But what was so cool about it was this video is sort of a documentary type style video where we include clips from different radio programs that were played back then that my Bubby and Zeta would have listened to, fireside chats from Roosevelt and just different, the first baseball program when Jackie Robinson was there, it's just tons of history in there. And
it was badass.
That is awesome. So those old are you talking about the one that literally would be like the length of this table? That was those big, like wooden cabinet.
No, that would have been one of the original RCA Victors. This was 1939.
Okay.
So this was, 40, 50 years later. But what's so cool about the RCA Victor is that logo at one time was the most well-known logo in the world. Like you would think Coca-Cola is now.
Okay.
And so it just is a piece of history, and to be able to restore something that not only is that old, but has been in my family since 1939 is super cool. In fact, I took in those RCA Victors, they had different radio presets, and they were preset from the factory because there was only so many radio stations back then, and you could get them all over the country. And I replaced all those with laser engraved initials that look just like the radio presets of everybody who's ever owned the radio. So my Bubby and Zeta, my dad, all his siblings, and myself. So there's 8 presets. Yeah. So
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's
that's really cool. I will have to go take a look at it. You have images on your channel or the video for that?
Oh, certainly.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely go check that one out. That's awesome.
Well, I gotta say, one of my favorite videos that I've watched, it was fucking awesome, was your Breaking Bad vacuum espresso maker.
Oh, that was a good one.
That thing was so badass.
When he showed me that, because he's like, "This is the gentleman we're going to interview." I was like, "That thing," and then I remember, loved the show, and I was like, "That thing is amazing."
Yeah, that was a really fun build, and that was a little bit of a departure from what we normally do too. I mean, it was building something, and it had the woodworking aspects to it. But I saw a really shitty version of it on like a 10-year-old YouTube video. This guy made. I love coffee. This guy made this like chemistry vacuum tube to make coffee, and I said, you know what? I could make that 500 times better. And so that thing's so cool. That actually went to a coffee shop in South Carolina. I partnered with a company to build that. Somebody reached out to me and said, "Hey, I own a coffee company, a subscription coffee service. And we also have a couple locations in South Carolina, and I'd love to work with you to do this." And I never take those kind of sponsorships, but I had this idea in my head for like 2 years, and I was like, sure, I'll do it. I already have the build already planned. So
nice.
Do it.
So that brings us to what we were saying, where we're at. We have a operating budget.
Oh, we have like $53
$53 is what we were going to ask you if we can get one done for that.
Yeah.
If we have $53 in the what they call petty cash. And
nice.
So we would like to see if we can get one of those espresso machines for $53.
Yeah, certainly that would be a great first payment.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
First payment.
There's 12 more bucks. We've got 12 more to add to that.
So that's 65.
Nice.
Final offer is $100.
Yeah, if we do weekly payments, you should have one by 2022.
Oh,
that's
sweet.
not bad. I thought you were going to say 2052. But so we're at what, 65?
$100 final offer.
$100 final offer.
We'll go take a personal loan.
Yeah.
Personal loan. I actually no longer. It's funny. I stopped doing commission work, so I stopped building things for people about 2 years ago.
That was another one of the questions that we were going to ask is do you do commissions if people say had an idea besides something like that, something else, maybe a family heirloom type deal? You just don't do commissions anymore?
Absolutely not. My business is a content creation and product sales business. We are not a furniture building business anymore. And people don't understand that. It's so funny. I'll get emails from people like, "Hey, how much for this table?" And I'll say, "I'm sorry, I don't take commission work." So they're like, "How do you make money then?" It's like, we create content, we sell products. And,
I sell guns online.
Yeah.
That's what you tell me.
Onlyfans.com?
Onlyfans.com.
Yeah. I sell
I get
risque photos.
I tell them, I bicep or side boob. That's the game I play with them. All right. So we need, we can't get a coffee maker. So we'll save that $100 for jackpot.
I guess.
We'll see if we can go triple it, and then we can come back with the blackjack tables, and maybe we'll have to get a Kurt K cup, I guess.
Exactly.
Shit, it was worth a shot.
All right, Jonathan. Well, we want to thank you so much for joining our show and coming on and kind of just explaining all about the content creation for our listeners out there. We really do appreciate it.
I'd like to have you again if we could down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great. So where can people find you?
Yeah.
YouTube, Jonathan Katz-Moses. It's Katz, like zebra, hyphen Moses, like the guy from the Bible. If you type that in anywhere, you will find me very easily. It's not a very common last name.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, it was great.
I like how it says that you type that anywhere. Yeah. You'll find me.
You will find me.
It wasn't about the commonality. Just put that into the Googs.
It's just facts.
Dude, you got it.
Yeah, I get asked all the time who does my SEO, and I always say just get a last name that only 2 other people in the world have, which are both my brothers.
There you go.
SEO just falls into
place. Should we change ours to Aardvark so we're like first in the? That used to be the way to be first in the phone book. Was your business was like Aardvark Lock and Key.
Well, that's so people started doing AAA lock and key.
Yeah, and then quad like Aardvark. But it was great talking to you about that. Appreciate the advice and some
Absolutely.
of the ideas on that.
Guys, great. It was great being here. I really appreciate you having me. I wish you all the best of luck.
Well, thank you so much. And for our listeners there, just take it easy. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with you. Jonathan for coming onto the show and talking to us about his YouTube channel and the content creation process that he and his team go through to produce episodes. I have personally known Jonathan for some time, and he's a great guy with a massive channel, being one of the biggest out there. If you haven't yet, be sure to go over to YouTube and watch some of his videos. Just search Jonathan Katz-Moses, that's K-A-T-Z, and his channel will be the first listing. You can also find him over at Instagram by the same name. Give him a like, follow, and subscribe for some awesome videos. And now, let's get back to the adulting. Yes, this virus has definitely got people acting a fool, like doing some stupid, crazy shit.
Not just stupid.
Well,
but stupid.
Mostly stupid.
Mostly stupid. I'm surprised there's not a shortage of tinfoil for all the tinfoil hats out there.
Oh yeah, that Walmart hasn't. Walmart hasn't. Well, I'm surprised.
I've seen so many stupid conspiracies out there.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of stupid conspiracy, but it extends beyond conspiracy theories. It's just people fucking. I mean, I get it. People are locked away. They're going stir crazy, and they want to get out, but it's how they're interacting with other people that's being done.
Oh, look, like fighting people for toilet paper, spitting on people.
Right?
That kind of shit, yeah.
Well, for instance, so I live in a city in Boise. So if you have seen the video online, you can find it. It kind of went viral.
Yes.
There was this lady who went to the park with her kids and a bunch of other people, and she wanted her kids to play in the playground.
No, she went there to make a protest.
No, so I'm just gonna go with what the news is kind of. This is how the news is portraying it. So she went to the park, and the police officer came up to her and arrested her for doing that.
Yes.
And people were all up in a huff, and I got a text from my dad saying, "How's that red state doing with the violations of civil liberties?"
All off of a 10-second video. Nobody saw the whole thing at
because
the time.
You didn't see the whole video. Yep. So it turns out this lady actually went to multiple parks. This is not just the one park she went to and it just so happened to happen. No, they were begging for this. So these people that she went to, a group of families and moms with kids or whatever it was.
They're anti-vaxxers too.
Yeah, so they went to various parks playing on the playgrounds, which were shut down because of the virus. And they were egging on people to call the cops, and they were egging on people on the cops basically to arrest them. So they would have either a news story or a civil lawsuit or whatever it may be. So it finally happened. She gets to whatever number on the park she was, 4, 5, 6 parks she went to,
And so the cop approaches her, and if you watch the whole video, he tells her multiple times, not just once, but multiple times, you need to stop. You need to leave. You need to stop. 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 If you do anything more, I'm going to have to take further action. And he just said over and over again, like, hey, you need to stop. He gave her plenty of... He didn't just, like, walk up, take out a taser, and tase her ass and put her in restraints.
He gave her plenty of opportunity to shut her pie hole and go home.
Absolutely. And she was just like, no, she turned around and put her hands behind her back, saying, basically, arrest me. You know, just do it. I'm looking for this lawsuit.
Yes.
And so eventually cops, they had to arrest her. Yes. So they arrested her and sent her to...
And as she's walking away... And someone goes, how about your kids? Her kids are just sitting there. And as she's walking away, she says, call Bundy or Amon Bundy. So if anybody knows the state of Idaho, Amon Bundy is a cowboy up north who took over the wildlife refuge in Oregon a couple years ago. Okay. Yeah. And in that instance, got his friend shot. He talked, he's one of those people that talks a lot, talks big game.
Yeah.
Okay, he talks a big game.
Influencer.
He's an influencer. Okay, not even social. He's just a big mouth bitch. I'll say it right now. And if you ever want to confront me, Amon, that's fine. I'll talk to you straight up. So he got his friend killed by federal agents out there. Okay, and then was found not guilty. So she says, call him. He comes down, and what do? They put up the address of the police officer who arrested him, and they protested
in front of him. Yep.
Okay, so all of it wrong. I get it. You want them to release, let us go open or whatever. But that guy is one of those people who runs his mouth, and then when the shit hits the fan, he can afford lawyers, okay? Well, the other people who follow him don't or cannot. So he's just a big windbag. So she gets arrested, right? Okay. And then she comes out with her apology. Okay. And her apology was about the most insincere thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, she didn't mean it, obviously.
No. She just knew
she wanted the publicity.
Yeah. So these are anti-vaxxers who went to a park, who decided to protest, and then thought that this Amon Bundy guy was going to come down and do all these things for him. And then she realized, okay, and then also her ex-husband or her current husband, that lady at the park, is a police officer.
Yes.
He's a police officer. Now I'm assuming he's divorcing her because... or
shitstorm that he caused. Yeah, he can't show his face at work.
No. I mean, it blows my mind. I get it, people. You're trying to make a point, but you're stupid as shit. Okay,
that's putting it lightly.
No, it's I mean, okay, we're in a deep red state. Who doesn't like federal overreach?
Right.
Okay, but what people forgot that the stay-at-home order was issued by who?
The governor.
Thank you.
And the governor is the president of the state, basically.
Yes, not a federal employee, but is the governor of the state of Idaho.
Yes.
And so they decided that they wanted attention, and she was going to pull a Karen. I want to speak to your manager, and she got arrested. Karen. Yeah, she's stupid as shit. So don't do that, people. Okay, and here's how don't put addresses of police officers out there and go and harass them at their house and shit. Because I tell you what, if I found out all those protesters addresses and I showed up at their house, these are the kind of assholes who are like, well, I got guns and trespassing and blah, 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 and freedom of rights. No, Amon Bundy protested BLM land rights after his father was found to owe thousands and thousands, almost millions of dollars in fees for feeding on that land.
Public land, yeah.
He refused to pay it, though.
Yeah.
And so...
I remember the story.
Yeah, you remember that? So fuck all you guys up there. And Amon Bundy. If you want to go out and protest or whatever, go do it. I don't give a shit. But the guy's a clown. He's the kind of guy that talks shit and gets people to do his dirty work for him. That's what he does. Sure. That man has never done anything, and his friend got killed by federal agents because he probably put it in his head. That guy jumps out of the vehicle, gets shot by federal. Do you think he gives a shit? No. Absolutely not.
If he did, he would have changed.
Him and his senile old fucking dad up there. I'm going to say it right now. So don't go to parks and protest and act tough, people. How about that?
I mean... and we only have a little bit of time left before
we don't
they lift
have
the
much
orders.
Time.
Yeah,
we don't.
They're lifting the orders, so just chill. I mean, you'll have time. It's going into summer. You will have plenty of time to go to the park and play with your kids. I understand your kids could probably drive you up a fucking wall.
Yes.
I'm sure your kid comes up to you and like, why are you talking to yourself? I'm having a teacher-parent conference right now. Go fuck away.
But how about this though? How about this? Anti-vaxxers anti-vaxxers, which is this group, should be the last fucking people to go out and protest of a shutdown to slow the pandemic.
Right.
Okay. All right. So
because they weren't going to get anything done for it anyway. They wouldn't take the vaccine if it was offered.
They won't. No, because everyone, and that leads us into the, we'll get into the conspiracy part here in a little bit. That leads into some amazingly stupid conspiracy theories. Okay. So
some deep,
folks,
dark rabbit holes.
Yeah. Don't, if you have to protest, fine. There are other means to do it. Write your governor, whatever. Things are going to start slowly open up. We're actually going to open up first before other states, California, places like Georgia.
California's extended, I think, halfway through May.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. We're going to open up before them.
Yeah, they closed down public beaches.
They should. Do you see all those douchebags down in Ventura in Orange County?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Pismo showed up. It's packing. And I get it. But if you're sitting on the beach a few feet away from somebody, I don't worry about it. I didn't go to the beach.
You're not saying you didn't go anywhere.
I didn't go
on the
anywhere.
West Coast. You didn't leave the state.
All I'm going to say is choose and pick your fights, and don't. You're not going to be a catalyst for something in the state during this time. Because you called on Amon Bundy to come out there and protest an officer's house. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lots of help there.
You did great. Great work. What the fuck did you even accomplish? You didn't accomplish anything except showing that you're a Karen. Okay, and you probably go to every store asking to speak to the manager, ask for a discount, pissed off because your kid who's probably completely out of control at school, but you blame them for it. Right?
I can definitely see her being that kind of
person.
Absolutely.
I just look at her. Look at her haircut. Look like that fucking chick off of Kate Plus 8 or whatever. Dude. Come on. You know what I'm talking about? I'm going to say it, dude. Shit. No, she's dumb as shit, dude. And then call Amon Bundy. That's the first thing she said. That ruined all credibility. It was a fucking setup. And I don't agree with the Bundy and those assholes to the north. I don't honestly give a shit. Go up there and fight your freedom, whatever the fuck you think it is up there, because none of you work a job up there. I noticed you have ranches that you use cattle to eat off of public or public land, and you don't want to pay for it. So get a job, bitch. I'm just gonna say it right now.
Sure, they actually make pretty good money doing that because selling cattle. I mean, cattle sell for a lot of money.
But when you owe millions for the fees of grazing on land that's not yours, and then you refuse to pay it, and when they take you to court, you go take over a refuge in Oregon, a totally different state, right? And then protest for 47 days, and then get your friend shot and killed by federal agents.
Right.
So what did you do? You didn't do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's just... So did you hear about the... where I think it was San Clemente, where it was... one of those cities down Southern California.
Okay.
So they had a skate park, and
even
after the stay-at-home orders were issued,
I still would have skated as a kid.
Yeah, kids were going out there and skateboarding it. So the city decided, we're gonna fill this skate park full of dirt. So
they filled it full of sand.
Oh yeah, they had backhoes and bulldozers over there pushing the sand in. So they filled it all up so the skateboarders couldn't skateboard there. So what happened? The dirt bikers came.
The same kids that rode skateboards ride dirt bikes.
Exactly.
And they just came out and made it into...
They fucking get what they deserve for that one, though.
They do. And is it really that big a deal? Shit.
No, I don't personally believe that it is.
Not when probably 20 miles from there to the coast, the beaches are full.
I mean, have you ever seen somebody skateboarding? They're not skateboarding holding hands and shit.
Yeah, they're not spitting
on
each other.
They have a distance because they don't want to run into people.
Yeah. So they just decided the kids took advantage of it, and the city's fucking suck it up.
Yeah, now what are they going to do? Put concrete in it? Because then the skateboards come back.
Well, yeah. So, exactly. What are you going to do?
So you fix one problem because you get another.
So now how much is it going to cost for them to go back and remove the sand from the park?
Exactly. Are they going to?
Or are they going to?
Or are they just going to fill it all in?
Oh, God, I hope not. Because you just take away a park away from the kids like that, dude. That's stupid.
Yeah, and how much do the taxpayers just fill for a hole of cement?
Yeah.
Yeah,
fuck all that.
People are being fucking stupid. I don't get it. I mean, I do get it, but at the same time, I don't. It's like I can understand.
I honestly think that this whole fear mongering. I'm not going to downplay the COVID. I won't downplay it. I've seen cases.
Seen it?
I've seen it. I've seen, unfortunately, children with it. I've heard people who have had it. They chattered so bad, their teeth, that they cracked their teeth. People in New York say all they hear 24/7 is ambulances. I get it. It's bad in some places. Okay. But is this a pandemic to shut down the world's economy? Because if this happens every year when it comes back, are we just going to shut down the world's economy each year? Absolutely not. We're going to weather the storm.
Yeah.
Okay, we will.
People will not put up with this.
Once 70 to 80% of the population is touched by this, then we get herd immunity, right? That's pretty much scientific base.
Well, that's what
scientific
they're hoping.
basis right
that's
there.
What they're hoping.
That's what it's for. But I tell you what, I'm not gonna live in fear. Did I break quarantine? Fuck yeah, I broke quarantine. I went on vacation. You know what? And I'm fine. I'll straight up say it, dude. I ain't gonna say it. We're
not gonna say where you went.
Yeah, but what's someone gonna do? You gonna come at me with a fine? I was talking to a police officer where I was at, and I asked him, "So what do you guys do? Like, someone breaks quarantine." He goes, "I wouldn't even know what fucking code to write it under."
No.
Right?
Is there a code?
Well, evidently, it's probably some archaic fucking code from the 1918 Spanish flu.
Or it's a new one implemented
but nobody even knows. I'm just saying, man. I'm not saying go out and break quarantine and risk people or whatever. But you know what? I don't live by fear. I'm not that age. I ain't bound to nobody living by fear.
What is your age again?
Nothing. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not even gonna say what I turn next month. Jesus, dude.
I know you're getting into the triple digits real soon.
Soon, yeah. I mean, I survived the Spanish flu. Did you know that? I was on a boat that came over with that. Fought World War I. And then I went on.
The movie 1917 was based on my life.
That was me, dog. Yeah.
I did that shit.
All right, next one. What do we get?
But continuing with California, because as you know, San Clemente is in California. But the governor, Gavin Newsom, actually, with all these protests going on and shit, he actually outlawed protests.
Yes.
He's not allowing people to protest.
Yes.
Which is a violation of constitutional law.
Yes.
But on the flip side, too, that if they are not maintaining social distancing,
exactly. So,
is it the same thing? Is that a violation of constitutional law?
I get what he's saying. I honestly, I don't like Gavin Newsom. I don't, I moved away from California. I don't, but of the last few governors, this person, Gavin Newsom, has a wee bit more understanding and common sense than Schwarzenegger, Jerry Brown, and all the other idiots before him. So what he's doing though is just saying, look, I get you want to protest or whatever, but it's a bad idea right now. But he is hearing them about in phases of reopening California. But you're looking at a state with a populace of 40 plus million people, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't. So rolling out in phases is a substantial amount of people each time. Okay, so I think that I don't really think he's infringing on the right to what do you call it?
Protest?
No, not protest, but a right to the
congregate.
There you go. Yeah, the right to be able to group up and stuff like that. I don't. He's just going by federal mandates and state mandates. That's what he's saying.
Sure.
Okay.
I can understand it, but at the same time, I don't agree with it. It's real weird. I can see both sides. It's on the fence.
He's on a very shady or a very
narrow fence line.
Narrow line. Okay, yeah. And that's got to be a hard one to walk on. To sit there and go, okay, I don't really want 50 people coming together to protest. Okay, but I also understand your right to do it. But you're also doing it in the face of what's been considered an order.
Right.
Okay. So this isn't where we're all going to be rounded up and all of our rights are taken away and you got all this paranoia and stuff like that. Now I understand the people who are probably most desperate are the ones who are about to lose everything. Open fucking businesses. I get it. We're going to have a second wave. We are going to lose people. Right?
Sure.
But what's worse? Living in a post-apocalyptic world with all the economy crashed?
If they're zombies, yes.
Yeah, only zombies and dinosaurs. Okay, now if that happens, but is it that, or do we just turn around? My bad. Do we just turn around and open things up and go back to normal?
I think we should. My personal opinion is we should just open it up, and the people who are young enough and healthy enough to go to work and to go out, let them go out and go to work, and let them go out and shop and do whatever they need to do, and then there is resources for people who can't.
Yes.
That's what I truly feel is probably the best way to do this, because if this goes on much longer, it's not going to be pretty. We can't recover from it. It's not going to be pretty. No, not at all. No. Luckily, I get to go back to work real soon. With the next few days, actually, I'm going back to work. And it's been 6 long-ass weeks, but I am so happy to go back to work. But I know there's a lot of people who can't because they have compromised immune systems, they're old, or whatever.
There's some people that are perfectly healthy that are afraid to do it. You're asking somebody after whatever event to go, okay, now it's time to go back to work.
Yeah.
Just based on what? The flattening of the curve, some statistics.
A fear, yeah, a probability or
probability,
whatever.
More than likely you'll be okay. Just practice these same things. I don't know. I think a lot of people aren't. Plus, people are at home making more money on unemployment and stuff like that than they were making at their jobs. So,
absolutely.
I mean, we're going to see a whole differential of things like that. But I think quite a few people will go back to work. I think that it's not so much about the paycheck sometimes, it's about to get the fuck out of the house, right? And get some...
You've been in those four walls for 6 weeks.
Sanity, right? Just go, look, I didn't like my job before, but fuck, I'm loving the idea of going back to it because I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the opposite of me, actually. I love my job, and I can't wait to go back.
Yeah.
Not just for the money, but because I actually like working there.
Yeah, and actually have an opportunity to get out, do some normal things like that. Absolutely.
Right.
I get
exactly.
it.
Exactly. So, have you heard of any of the conspiracy theories that are floating around?
Yeah.
What are your favorite?
Okay.
Go ahead. Okay. Give me a couple of them. We'll kind of
okay, so one of my favorites is, let's see, I've heard a few things. So Bill Gates, I've heard this one a few times. Bill Gates, the same man who... quite a few years ago, along with Warren Buffett and some of the richest people in the world, gave up half of their total net worth to put back into the economy to, for Bill Gates specifically, was to eliminate malaria. Okay. A malaria that kills millions every year.
This is fact.
Yeah. Okay. So he has done nothing but give away his money. Warren Buffett, all of them give away over half of their total net worth. That's a ton. But because he has a patent for a chip that would go in your body that tracks your biological health, like your heart rate and all that stuff, right? Because he has a patent that has 3 6s in it, that's the number of the beast, people believe that Bill Gates is the Antichrist and that the only, the whole idea is that the only way you'll be able to get food and water for your family is to get the chip and things like that, right? So Bill Gates is the Antichrist.
Yeah.
Okay,
God.
so that's one of my favorites.
If you believe that, I'm sorry. You don't need to be listening to our show.
Yeah. I mean, if you believe that, email me and show me how and why you think that is, in any way possibly true. Okay, because this is the man who's put computers in classrooms all through the world, right? Put water, power in places in portions of other poor countries, Africa, things like that, and then gave up half of his total net worth to try and stop malaria. He's been about that forever. Stop malaria. Mm-hmm. Okay. So if you think that, you've got some issues. Okay. So another one I've heard.
They belong right in that same corner as flat earthers.
Well, yeah. Okay. If you're a flat earther, just go fuck off. Okay. All right. And okay, here's the other thing. So the other ones I've heard is this is specifically to eliminate the older part of our generations, the ones who are on Social Security, Medicare, things like that, because they're not producing as much for society. Okay, that this was specifically targeted to kill them. Okay, so there's a number of things wrong with that. Fact is because countries base their future GDP potential, okay, or gross product, right, on the people that they have in the workforce. So in the last 10 years, the United States, Japan, and Britain have seen the largest decline in births they have in a long time. Okay. So that tells you they're not making the babies and the people to fill the spots for expansion of their nation.
Go have sex, people.
Well, that's the thing, though. Okay, that's the thing. So, okay, but now we're going to go ahead and unleash a virus that only targets.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another one I've heard.
So one of the conspiracy theories I hear, actually, it holds a little water for me. I don't know how true it can be, but it actually sounds a lot more plausible than Bill Gates had something to do with this, is that the Chinese government actually released this on purpose to crash the world economy, and then they would buy the debt out from these other countries that can't afford it. What's that?
I told you that.
Yeah, you might have.
I told you that if there's a possibility that it was a check to it, check the system. The reason being is because the United States, every day we have a guy up there who's touting how great the United States economy is. And we have the largest debt we owe to China. Okay?
Right.
So did they fear that we were going to get to the point where we could pay down interest, principal, and all that and start getting away from it? Right? And then did they do this? No, I don't think so. Because after this is over, China has to answer for this. They're going to, because we've now narrowed down. It was the Wuhan lab. Our intelligence committee, and they believe it was accidental. They don't believe it was an intentional thing. Okay, but
it did come from a bio
They
lab.
fucked up. Okay, so now,
and then they try to cover it up.
They did. So nations are going to come
lives.
at them. Nations are going to go, you know what? We passed a $2 trillion package here. We owe you close to $11 trillion in China.
Right.
But we passed a $2 trillion stimulus package, so we're just going to take that out of what we owe you. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So instead of pulling triggers and going to war, people are going to go after them to rebalance the economy. And I have believed that at points, but I look at it now as more. Even if it was accidental, you done fucked up.
Oh yeah.
It's called responsibility for something.
Well, even if it's an accident, they still try to cover it up.
Yes.
They silenced the doctor who discovered it.
Yeah, and then he
died from it.
No, actually, no, he lived. He came
No,
back.
he didn't.
Yes.
No, he did not. They have a video of him on his deathbed the day before he died.
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna show you right now.
Yeah, well,
that he's been on there lately, and he talked about it. They made him disappear for a little bit.
But the Chinese government, just the way it is, they're an evil fucking regime. They're an evil communist regime, and they suppress their people, they suppress information, and they cause this pandemic. It is completely and squarely on their shoulders.
It is. I agree.
And I know this stuff has been
right.
driven.
He did die later on. My bad.
I told you that.
Okay, well, I just didn't believe you.
Yeah, I know you don't. You never fucking believe me, even though I'm always right. But anyway, yeah, I know we've drilled into this quite a bit, and we talk nonstop about it, but it's the only thing in the news right now.
It really is. Except for this next part, which is coming up, which I think is great timing. It's great timing.
So, if you guys have not been paying attention, well, even if you listen to the news, you wouldn't have heard it.
Right.
But the Pentagon actually confirmed 3 UFO videos.
Yes.
They came out and said, yes, these are UFOs.
Okay, now mind you, these videos came out some years ago, and they were leaked.
Yeah,
okay,
and it was actually Tom DeLonge of Blink-182 who got them published.
And people were like, we don't know if these are real or not.
Right.
But for the Pentagon to come out and go ahead, and confirm and say, like, these are the completely unedited videos. We have no identification of what these are. There's nothing in our arsenal or any foreign nation's arsenal that is capable of doing this.
It's not an admittance to that it's aliens or anything.
No.
It's just an object or an aircraft that they have no idea where it came from or what it is.
Yeah, but I mean...
But they did come out and confirm that those videos are real. Yeah. Go online and look it up right now.
I've heard people say drones, things like that. I don't know. I mean, and I don't know the top level things, but I can't imagine a drone that goes as fast as these things did in the video, or drones that can outrace
a fighter pilot.
A fighter pilot and an F-30, was an F-35, an F-16, whatever it may be. Drones don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not built for those kind of speeds because they can't be as the size of they are in that tiny little ass engine.
Right.
Right? So when you hear these Navy pilots on there going, look, it's spinning, it's rotating, it just fucking...
There's a fleet of them.
It just took a fucking 4-degree turn or whatever to its right, took off, it's gone. So there's some credibility to it. Now, is there another nation that has something sophisticated enough to really fuck with us? I don't know. But is it somebody visiting us? Possibly. I hope they quarantine for 14 days before they come out and shake hands.
Before they go back to their home planet.
Yeah, and go, what is coronavirus?
Oh, it's what I have.
That's what we find out, that we wiped out half of the universe because of all,
As Dr. Nick Redbone said on our podcast, it's like driving on the interstate freeway and seeing that dingy, dirty truck stop on the side of the road. And you're like, nope, I'm going to keep going.
Yep, exactly.
If they were smart enough, that's what the aliens would happen.
But no, so it's a pretty big deal. But of course, the timing of the release is something else. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. We'll see if it's they just drop it right in the middle of this coronavirus thing. So we'll have to see what happens after that. But that was pretty interesting. It was pretty cool to see. Even though it had been a few years, but
even though the news decided not to cover it, I don't know why they wouldn't. I mean, it's like the only news out there right now. Other than
I wonder why.
Why not?
I don't know, because they're trying to shove fear down our throats and be like, oh, now, you know.
Well, if you're trying to shove fear down the throats, the aliens would be a good one.
But we need to show the aliens, though, not just the ships.
Right. Whatever. I think the CNN should have run at least a cover story for it.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
But anyway, so one of the other subjects I did want to talk before we go on break here. So I was on Facebook a few days ago, and if you haven't seen it, there's a video with 2 high school kids who come on there, and they're doing a TikTok video. So it's a short video, 30 seconds or whatever it is, and it is racist as fuck. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. It's straight up racism. Yep. But the people on Facebook are calling for violence against these kids.
Yes.
And I find that baffling because absolutely this is racist, this is dirty, this is disgusting. It shouldn't be anywhere. Nobody should ever do that kind of shit. Absolutely. And we got to call it out for what it is. It's just blatant racism.
Yes.
But to bring violence against these 2 kids, I believe they were 17 years old. They're still in high school.
I mean, they're seniors in high school.
And so they're calling for these kids to have their asses kicked and for people to jump them.
And probably doxing them, showing their addresses and shit like that.
It's ridiculous because if you've ever heard of something, it's called the First Amendment. You have the right to free speech. You can say whatever you want as long as you're not physically harming anybody.
Exactly.
As much as I hate what those kids said, they have every right to say it. Just like, sadly, the KKK is able to say whatever they want. Same with the black Hebrews or the black Israelites, whatever they are.
I mean, there's a number of different groups out there, of many races that are racist and say many things.
You have the right to say that kind of stuff, as shitty as it is. But it's our job to call it out for what it is.
Yes.
Not bring violence against these kids. Plus, they're calling for them to never have a job again, to not go to college, to be declined for any of their anything that ever comes up in their life. So you want to ruin these 2 kids' lives. They're 17 or 18, whatever they are. You want to ruin these kids' lives for the rest of their life for a stupid 30-second video? We all did stupid shit as kids. I mean, we got lucky because we grew up in the age of no social media. You couldn't record. Yeah, we had flip phones and shit. We had fucking bricks. I remember my first phone was a brick.
Yeah, I'm talking even before that shit.
So we got lucky. Everybody does stupid shit. Yes, we should get in trouble for it. We should be called out for it when it is stupid shit. For it. But you should not have to pay for it for the rest of your life.
Reasonably responsible for it. And then also, you shouldn't be able to call for violence on somebody like that. Because I'll tell you what. Some of those people that are calling for violence, if they ever made a mistake that slighted somebody, and that person took it so personal that then they go and they commit an act of violence against that, but they're going to call for justice. Right. Okay, but you can't escalate it like that.
No.
Okay, because first of all, keyboard warriors, you're the one calling for the act of violence. Are you going to do it? No. You're just talking shit from your computer. Right. But then you give somebody an idea and they go and do it. Right? Yeah. Or maybe you destroy these kids' lives, you take everything away from them, they go out and they go the wrong path.
Yeah, they decide to keep with that kind of racism. Yep. It might have been a joke back then, but now they're internalizing and they're becoming the far right wing who goes and shoots up a fucking Walmart.
Or they come at you.
Yeah.
Maybe the karma circle, just people, I get it, racism, and the statements and stuff are fucked up, but we really, really can't call for the violence of people like that. I mean, I get it. I mean, where people get upset about things like that and, sexual offenders, things like that, but don't call for violence. I hate to say it, unless you're willing to actually do it, but most of those people are not. They're all keyboard warriors at home selling essential oils and shit like that. They don't have the balls to go out and do something, so they just run their mouths.
Yeah.
Yep. It was fucked up.
Well, we're going to change gears a little bit here. We wanted to give you a quick update on our studio, what we got going on and what's going on for the future. So as you know, we said in the last, I think 2 podcasts ago or whatever, that we moved into our new studio. And we just got our new equipment, so you can probably tell the difference between. Well, at least I hope so. You can tell the difference between this podcast and the very first one. Go back to listen to the first one. It's cringeworthy, in my opinion, but
it is
still good shit because we did it all in one take. But, you know, we got all this new equipment. We got the new studio. We got the new recording audio software. We got everything's fucking cherry. We got sponsors, which, you know, shout out to our sponsors. And we truly support all
sponsors.
What,
we have more than one?
Yeah. How do you not know this?
I don't know.
I thought you were our business manager.
Oh, wait,
That's why we're tanking.
That's why we haven't made any money yet.
But again, we do want to thank everybody out there for supporting us, for subscribing, for hitting that like button and watching or listening to our videos. Or watching, I guess, on YouTube, even though there's not a video attached to it.
We'll get the video one soon.
Yes, so that's one of our things is within the next couple episodes, we've said it before, but we are bringing you a video podcast. Admittedly, it's probably going to be shitty, the very first one, so you're going to have to bear with us because I'm going to have to learn that editing software. It's only us two, so I have to learn the editing software, and we'll see how long that takes out to do it.
Yeah.
But we have all the equipment ready for it, so that's going to be definitely coming. The other thing that we have on deck is the website that you're going to be able to visit. It's going to be both for fans and for sponsors.
Only fans.
OnlyFans. But you're going to be able to go there and check out our exclusive content only available to subscribers, as well as go there to log in for if you're a sponsor, if you are interested in sponsoring, or actually we are offering voiceover work right now. So that's one of the other things that you can email us about, or you can go to that website and, fill out a form.
E-commerce sites, things like that. It'd be pretty easy to do. Reach out to us.
Yeah, so just get a hold of us and tell us what you think, how everything's going. Just give us your opinion on everything. And so we also wanted to give you a little sneak peek on next episode. Our next episode, we are bringing back the true crime episode. And we got a doozy for you here. It is technically an unsolved murder.
Yes, it is.
But we all know who did it. It's pretty blatant. It's just that nobody's opening their mouth to admit it.
Do we know who did it?
We do. Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about who. Well, the town. The town covered it up. Yeah, it was.
There's two shooters.
Yeah,
and
somebody pulled the trigger. We don't know who pulled the trigger,
but we know that
it was the whole town does know who it was.
Yes,
so
exactly.
It's not. It's just technically unsolved. So we're gonna drop you a little hint right now. Do you want to tell them the name of this person?
Yes, this is Ken Rex McElroy. In this case, took place back in 1981. Town bully, all around piece of shit, and terrorized a lot of people there, hurt a lot of people in, what was the name of the place? I forget. It's in Missouri.
Somewhere in Missouri. It's something.
Skidmore.
Yeah, Skidmore, Missouri.
In Missouri, and the people took upon themselves the exacted
revenge.
Some revenge, and then we'll talk about how it's torn this place apart over some time, and it's pretty interesting.
So next episode, you're going to want to tune in because the true crime episode it's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time with it. We're going to spend a lot of time on it, kind of going over the facts and what happened, who this dickhead Ken Rex McElroy was,
just big bag of douche,
and basically what happened. As we said, it's unsolved technically in the books, but that town knows exactly what happened. Exactly. It's just nobody wants to admit it because, the guy was a piece of shit and he probably deserved what he got coming to him.
And it tore that town apart.
But yeah, anyway, so you're going to want to check out our next episode. It's going to be a fun one. It'll be out in the next 2 weeks. We'll have that up for you. We're also going to have another interview for that one, I believe. Our next episode, we do have another interview lined up. We can't reveal that right now according to contracts, so you're going to have to wait a little bit. If you follow us on Facebook or Twitter, we will let you know on that as soon as we are able to. But as of right now, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back. We're going to do something a little different today. We're going to bring you positive news stories.
Yeah,
we got a couple on deck that are actually pretty cool. They're feel-good stories about everything going out there right now. It's bullshit. People are being assholes, and it's just not a lot of good news cycles going on. So we're going to bring you a little positivity back in there. Even though, Ken, one of your ranting things from one of the previous episodes, you hated positivity quotes and shit.
But I think it's time we give them some.
Yeah, we need a little positivity in life. And then, of course, after that, we are going to finish with the Florida Man article. Yeah, we always do. So just stick with us, guys. We will be right back. We're going to go take a quick break.
Amanda, and I want to thank you for listening to the Adulting is Hard podcast. I know that times are tough out there right now, but these guys are trying to make it a little easier for you. I promise it's in your best interest to listen. They even gave tips on how to survive with the quarantine life hacks on the last episode. There is still a lot of great content to come, and guess what? I'm on the next segment. Remember, you can always reach them on Twitter and Facebook at IsAdulting, on Instagram at AIH_podcast, or send them an email at podcast.adultingishard@gmail.com. You can also find all their great content on YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Acast. Hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
All right, guys, welcome back from the break. We got a little surprise for you guys. If you guys are following us on Facebook or Twitter, you would have had this little heads up. But today we have our first third chair in studio guest. With us, we have Amanda Brown. Say hello. What's up?
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Welcome.
Thank you.
How was the drive to this non-disclosed location here?
Long and shitty.
Yeah. That's kind of how the whole day's been going.
Yeah, it's been
the whole
dry.
fucking 6 weeks has been
This
going.
is all bullshit. COVID's stupid. I'm just done with it. And
well, I mean, if you aren't done with it, I would see as a problem. Well, here's the thing with the coronavirus, at least for me, that it hasn't impacted my social life whatsoever.
you have to have something to impact.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but yeah. But 6 weeks ago I was called lazy, but now I'm called a hero for staying home.
Right. I'm saving the world right now. I want things to go back. I want to be able to go sit in a restaurant, eat.
Oh, no
Yeah,
kidding.
well, hopefully that's happening soon. I mean, we have the state opening back up here real soon.
Over the next few weeks, at least.
Yeah, but I think bars and restaurants are more like a phase 3 or phase 4.
Phase 4.
Yeah, the people are really pushing
yeah.
salons and
Yeah.
tattoo parlors because
That's
that's
what you told me
fucking
about, too.
awesome idea.
Those open up before?
Huh?
Are those opening up before?
They're talking about like in phase 2, the smaller businesses like
Okay,
that. Like
so-
I need to go see my barber. I get that, but the tattoo, if you're trying to avoid an infectious disease or a virus, the fuck,
I mean,
Right?
Well, it's not like they're reusing needles.
it's as close as you can get.
I got a tattoo during this virus.
Did you?
It's
Okay.
at
I'm
a
just
parlor.
saying, you're
Not
just
to
sitting
say
there breathing
where.
with the same person. I mean, I get if you don't catch it, it's fine, but they're prioritizing churches first. Okay.
Yeah.
And then,
Communal gatherings.
yeah. I'm
But
like,
restaurants are a no-go?
yeah, exactly.
They serve food in church, guys.
Oh my
And
God.
probably
You
not
get-
with
you
the
get
health
wine with
inspector in mind on
And
that
bread.
stuff.
You get
Yeah.
bread and wine in
Your daily
church.
You get some random lady Karen's casserole there or some shit. No.
Comes in the glass dish with the foil covering and shit.
This is my grandmother's recipe. Nobody likes it then, Carol. Nobody wants to hear it now. Fuck.
Karen, you're thinking of Carol Baskin's that bitch.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
thinking of a Karen. The typical Karen now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Well,
about.
Yeah.
so the two good names to throw out there as insults are either Karen or Carol.
Yes.
This is
yes.
true.
Yeah.
Either one will.
Like if
hit
I'm
its
gonna
mark.
get loud up in a place, I'm gonna pull a Karen. Right? That's
I want to talk to your manager.
Let me speak
Yes,
to your manager.
Karen.
You haven't even ordered yet. I'm just gonna bypass the little man here. I'm gonna talk to your manager.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Karens
Shut the
are.
fuck up, Karen.
Yeah, you should fuck up.
Shut your fat mouth, Karen. All right, so guys, we are towards the end of our episode, but we have 2 more segments to go. As you guys all know, with every single episode, we do follow with a Florida man, and we got 2 good ones for you this week. But before that, we wanted to kind of take a step back from all the negativity that's going on out there and all the bullshit with the coronavirus. And I mean, just our last segment, we were just telling how bad this world is and all the shitty things that have fucked up with it, and especially California and
Yeah.
those psychos out there. And so
Those psychos out there.
we're deciding to do something
Those psychos are
completely
good.
out of character for
Yeah.
us. I don't even know how we're going to get through this. So
I'm
the
probably
goal-
gonna
Positively,
get
that's how.
semi-pessimistic and sarcastic. I'm
So
sure.
we're bringing you 2 good, like positive, inspiring news articles, but we're gonna try not to laugh, not make fun of the people in this.
I'll probably
No
call them
promises.
fake. I'll be like bullshit. Okay,
That's
but
why we
we're gonna
found
try it,
2.
though.
That's why we found 2 articles. That's hard to do that with.
That's true.
But- all right. So our first article, namaste and whatever else they fucking say. So I found this, and so this guy had gone into a grocery store, and he was caught stealing things. He was caught stealing vegetables and fruits. So
They're
so
the malt
manager-
liquor and diapers.
So the manager goes. Yeah, if it was toilet paper, he wouldn't have gotten away with it.
Nope, they would have shot his ass.
No. Yeah, dead in the streets. But the manager caught him, goes and approaches him, and I guess the guy didn't have enough money. And so the manager decided to buy him a bunch of groceries, gave him a couple sacks of whatever he needs, and they let him walk.
Apparently vegetables.
So, yeah, well, maybe. I don't know. It depends on what vegetables they are.
I
mean, if it's spinach, be like, nah, you can keep that.
You're like, dude, I was only doing this for attention. I read now. I need some steaks and shit.
Steaks?
Yeah, that's what I would tell him. I was like, this is just for attention, but since you're offering,
I need Pop-Tarts. I need Twinkies.
Don't forget
Hostess.
Chef Bar needs some SpaghettiOs. Eat those right out of a can.
Microwave pizzas.
There you go.
Yeah, and a couple bottles of liquor.
Yeah, I need some of that top-notch, shit you got up there on the shelf up there.
Levitt,
that shit you got locked up. Yeah. Ain't nobody buying that.
That's groceries, right?
Yeah.
It goes towards the bill.
It's essential.
It is essential. Oh, absolutely. That's why the liquor stores didn't close.
Nope.
You can't have the alcoholics going.
You don't want all these people filling beds with withdrawals.
Alcohol kills viruses,
That's what I'm saying. If we all get drunk, we'll just kill it all in our bodies.
I'm not sure that's how it works, but
it's sound logic. I'm gonna go.
It's a positive thought.
There you go.
I mean, it sounds better than chugging bleach,
right?
Which is guaranteed to kill everything in your body, including your organs.
And yeah.
But
okay.
But whatever. So the grocery store ends up giving him a bunch of groceries, and this thing ends up going viral. So the grocery store was called Central Fresh Market in Ontario, I believe. Yeah, Kitchener, which is it's not American.
No,
I guess it's
probably
not American.
All cashiers have man buns
because,
and shit.
Someone had caught them on camera doing this. They interchanged.
Oh, awesome.
So that's kind of an uplifting little story that people are hit pretty hard in their wallets financially, and not just financially, like everything, And so this grocery store was willing to give out a couple groceries to somebody who needed it.
All right, keep scrolling down. Let me guess. Someone started a
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe for him. Watch.
No.
Okay.
No, it's hashtagging all this.
All right. I mean, that's cool. No, I figured they'd start a GoFundMe. The guy get like $300,000 and blow it on coke and hookers or something. I mean,
well, that's charity.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's tax free, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, are you gonna fill out a fucking tax form for that?
Oh no, not for the hookers and coke.
Well, definitely not for the coke.
No.
That's what you use your tax return on.
There you go.
Yeah.
When there's a stimulus check,
I need a $1,200 sack.
Let's get fucked up, buy guns, lottery tickets, and cigarettes.
Why are the clothes essential?
All right, so we got one more news article for. This guy is going around Germany handing out bags of cash, $200,000 at a time. Huh?
Guten Tag.
That's a come up.
Yeah, so he's just going around and handing out bags in a brown paper bag that has $200,000 in it. And he's just directing the people how to use it, basically. He's just saying, here, use this for
Well, he drops it off
charity.
at a local newspaper.
Yeah.
With directions on where to go with it.
Yeah. I'm just saying,
which is cool.
I'm a charity case. I could use that money.
Right. Now, do you remember the guy
here? By the way, my Venmo is at KJones805 if you want to shoot me $1.
Dollar bills. Now, you remember the guy here in the United States that was doing that?
No.
He's been doing it for years. Yeah, he does it every holiday. He goes around, he'll walk up and just hand people hundreds of dollars.
You're not talking Bill Pulte.
No, not that fucking douchebag. No. And if you hear me, Pulte, you could suck a fat bag of dicks. So, no, this guy's been doing this for 20 plus years. No one knows who he is. He just goes out and he hands out money. And then he'll go to like Walmart, pay off everybody's layaway, does that kind of stuff. And still nobody knows who the guy is.
That's
but
awesome.
Scam. That guy's going to open a fucking church, watch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that guy's a cult.
All that shit's a tax write-off anyway.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm trying to start a cult. And it's a tax write-off.
We should.
We should.
How we have this recorded.
Does that require? 3?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it starts with 3. And then we just worship.
Okay, which one of us is the son of man?
The woman.
Cheese?
Just worship cheese or something.
And we got to have services with snakes.
You can. You can talk in tongue and play with snakes.
Yeah, just
I'm good on it.
Dancing around with fucking cobras in my hand and shit.
And throw them at people?
They're our security, yeah.
Yeah, just test their faith. Throw them at them if they
come on,
squeal.
ATF, I dare you.
Just go to random people and say, hey, catch.
Fight me, bro.
If God wants to save you, it won't bite you.
Yeah, if you believe enough, it won't kill you. And,
half of these snakes are venomous, half of them are not. It's up to you to figure it out.
But that's cool that guy's doing that, though. But then again, as long as it's going to something that can help more than one person. So when someone donates a bunch of money to like one person,
Yeah.
That's not doing it.
But the difference between this guy and Bill Pulte, or however the fuck you say his name.
Dickhead.
Is this guy's completely anonymous.
Yes.
He's not left his name. He doesn't want it published whatsoever. He's doing it out of the kindness of his heart because he can't get publicity if nobody knows who he is.
Bill Pulte
so he's doing it for the right reasons.
All about his ego.
Right, no joke.
Bill Pulte advertises every single time he does that.
It's his ego.
Oh, yeah. That's how he gets donations.
Yeah.
I don't think it's his own money he's giving away.
It hasn't been his own money for a while. He's been busted on that.
God.
So he'll pay a fee to money away to generate the hype. Do you know what I mean? And
to make it go viral.
To make it go viral.
At this point, every time he posts something, he's getting 4.5 million.
Yeah, he bought all of his followers for Twitter. Yeah. He bought them all.
I mean,
he's straight up.
We tried to do.
Well, we haven't tried. Yeah, but we were going to. We
didn't have his kind of money.
Yeah. Well, we would just borrow other people's and give it away.
Let me borrow your money.
I don't carry cash.
You can give it to me.
There you go.
I'll take
money, please.
Right. But
all right, so we have reached the very last segment of our podcast tonight, and you know what that means. Logan, go ahead and bring us on in.
Florida Man.
You're damn right. It is time for the Florida Man section, and we got 2 whoppers for you today. Found this one just kind of randomly browsing the internet, and it popped up. And
this guy might be my spirit animal.
He just
might. Be mine too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So Ken, go ahead and lead us on with this.
I'm going with this one. All right. Man leads SJSO, which I'm assuming is some county sheriff office, on a low-speed chase in a canoe in a pond. Okay, in a pond, folks. Remember, everybody understands the definition of a lake, a pond, an ocean, things like that. Okay, a pond is usually surrounded completely by land and not very big. So deputies in the Northwest District located a reported stolen vehicle near the 8200 block of Kindred Spirit Lane. The alleged suspect fled upon seeing them and got stuck in a field a short time later. The suspect then fled on foot and entered a canoe on the edge of a pond. Deputies spent the next few minutes advising the suspect that the pond was surrounded.
Oh, my Lord.
And that a vessel was on its way. This is where I want to know what vessel they were bringing.
Yeah, right.
I mean, like an armored car that could go in the water float.
What would have been great is one of those fucking paddle ones with the swans.
Oh, yes.
Paddle boats and get on out.
And just watch them do a little chase around. But no, remember, like I was telling you, they should pit maneuver them like they do cars in high speed chases.
You see just the canoe spin out.
Bump his canoe and flip him over. And so the suspect then paddled to shore where he was taken into custody without further incident, which this could have gone so much better in a lot of ways.
So it says that the pond was surrounded.
Yes.
How many officers did it take to surround this pond?
Probably like 3. One on each side just going.
Pond.
Now I wonder, like, did anybody
we gotta pull up Google Maps.
I would have put a warning shot through his canoe, right through the back.
Even looking at this, you can tell the cops didn't want to get wet because they could step in that. That's only knee deep.
Yes,
that's only knee deep.
The fact that there's even a canoe accessible there, and
I get that
what's
part.
What's he running from? Like, what was so important that he felt the need to go in a circle in the canoe?
Oh, he was wanted for a stolen car.
For a stolen vehicle.
Oh,
so driving a stolen vehicle, got pulled over, ran
probably
through a field,
bunch of bass
found a
salts
pond
and
with
shit
a
in
canoe
there.
in it. And
definitely a felon, definitely on parole.
Yeah. I wonder if he knew that the pond just goes in a circle.
You
start at one end and you end right back to where you are.
Now, if he was
basalt, it's definitely basalt.
It's basalt. Now, if it was at nighttime, then you get in there and you flip the canoe over and hide underneath it. It works in the movies.
Right.
No, in the movies you get the fucking reed.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You sit under the water and you breathe through it.
Yeah, right.
Oh God.
But I'm pretty sure this was a lot of basalts, or I'm going to say
a lot of genetics.
A lot of genetics, mostly genetic, Floridian genetics.
Put some bleach in that gene pool.
Oh Lord.
It needs it. Scroll down. Is there any more on this game?
No, it's just those pictures. Which again, I'm saying that's no deeper than knee deep.
If I was that guy, I would have held out to see what vessel they brought.
I would have wanted to know.
I want to know. Is it like a little armored vehicle that goes in, half submerged? I mean, what are we doing? Is SWAT coming?
Is it just a
Well, I mean, it could be in the Everglades, so they might have like fan boats.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I'm just curious. I would have waited. I would have held out. I mean, you're already going to jail. Let's find out what you got. Sit in the
middle of the pond and be like, you can either wait out here and get me, or
just sitting there like this. Fuck you.
Spend $5,000 to come out here and get me.
I wonder if that canoe had an anchor though, so he probably just had to stay in circles.
He's only got one paddle. He's probably going in circles anyways.
I mean, you could swim faster than a canoe can paddle. That's for damn sure. You can check.
I would put a warning shot across the bow.
He was going out with a bait for sure.
I would have put one right across the thing. I'm fucking around. I'm trying to get home for dinner.
Yeah, just try to shoot the canoe, make it sink.
Right through the back end, make it sink. I can see that now. You violate his rights. Bullshit.
Wow. Hopefully there's no alligators in there because
alligators
are my number 2 worst fear.
Is it an alligator?
What's
an alligator?
What's your number 1? A goldfish?
Crocodile.
Oh, okay.
Oh, God.
What's the difference between the two?
Number 3, aneurysm. But that's a whole different story.
Oh, gosh. You sure it's not your anxiety? That's your number 1?
No, that's what drives my fears. But
There's crocodiles, alligators, and aneurysms. Yep.
Aneurysms. There
You got to have a list.
That's my top 3 list.
There you go.
Scares the shit out of me. So, Amanda, you want to do our last article here?
Yeah, sure. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is a Florida man who was arrested in the parking lot for breaking into cars after being released from jail within minutes. So
Nice.
Pretty classic. No, first guy was your spirit animal. This guy's definitely mine.
And why is that?
Oh, we'll find out.
Okay,
We will find out.
So here it is. So Casey Michael Lewis was a free man for about 15 minutes, not even leaving the grounds of the jail where he'd been locked up before being arrested again. 37-year-old had just been released Thursday from St. Lucie County Detention Facility in Fort Pierce, Florida, where he'd been held on grand theft charges, of course, according to an arrest affidavit. So the affidavit says that after he was released, Lewis then began walking around the jail's parking lot, acting suspicious and checking vehicle doors.
Okay, so just real quick question here. What's going through this guy's mind? He exits the door and he's just fucking fingers in the air. Fuck you guys. I'm going to break into your car. I hope you
you got to assume that almost all those vehicles in that parking lot are employee cars.
Oh, yeah.
Right, to the county jail.
95% of them.
Not a lot of people drive their car to jail.
I feel like
I'm
just going to say.
Can I just go ahead and park this here for 5 months?
I'm going to be here. I got like 6 months stay at long-term parking. Is it cool? Right?
You guys validate parking?
Yeah.
maybe it's because the virus. He's like, oh, yeah, the world's definitely ending, so nobody's going to care.
I don't know. He could have thought that. Or he just wanted to go back to jail and get fucked.
Yeah, he's like, it's warm in there.
Yeah.
Well, it is Florida, so
it's Florida. It's always hot.
Well, at least it's free food.
And depending on how long he was in there, he was definitely broke, so needed money for his bus ticket or whatever.
True, and he came up in money.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he did. So, surveillance video, they had one. It showed Lewis looking into cars and opening the door of a silver vehicle, according to the affidavit. The report says Lewis entered the car from the driver's side and sat in the car for about 2.5 minutes. He then exited the vehicle and walked around the length of the lot, checking vehicles along the way by either looking in the windows, lifting the door handles to see whether they were unsecure. And while Lewis was in the parking lot, he was approached by an officer, and he told the officer he was waiting for his girlfriend.
Classic.
Yep.
Classic one.
Waiting for my boo to pick me up.
And his ride or die,
Yep.
So the arresting officer said in the affidavit that when Lewis was approached, questioned, and finally arrested, he gave the officer a brown paper bag with items from a vehicle, and those included an iPhone 7, 4 packs of smokes, a lighter, 1 debit card, and a Florida driver's license, and he came up on $547 in cash.
Not a bad haul,
Not bad.
No.
for cops.
And
leaving their shit open. You would think, being a law enforcement officer, you would know to
Well, here's what I'm thinking is if he got away with it, say he takes off and then everyone comes out and realizes their car got broken into, and they go back and look at the footage and like, holy shit, we just let this guy out.
We're idiots.
Yeah. And then they go find him, but then he's up in some shitty hotel getting fucked up. You know what I mean?
His girlfriend.
With his girlfriend.
Prostitute.
Yeah, exactly.
6 months pregnant with fucking tramp stamps, and
he's been in there for
she's got the
4 months.
Tattooed on the neck.
He's been in there for a year. She's 6 months pregnant. He's like, what the fuck?
Smoking a cigarette in her tank top. Just
so awesome.
Professional dick farmer.
How long? The other question I had is, how long did it take officers to actually realize this was happening?
I'd say
did they see it from outside the window and go and approach him? Because personally, if I was the officer, I would have stepped outside, took out a pack of cigarettes, lit one, and just fucking watched this guy.
Well, I would have just yelled, "We see it, dipshit!"
That's what I'm saying. It's just, wait to see until he turns around, and then you're just sitting there smoking a cigarette, staring at this fucking guy. Really?
Yeah.
I mean, he managed to only sit in one car for 2.5 minutes, so.
And he went around popping locks. He did pretty good.
I mean, I would say it was probably like them just watching, waiting. Obviously, he wasn't going anywhere, so they were probably just watching the video and then finally walked out.
And I can't imagine if the judge, when he sees him on a Tuesday, he's like, "Let me get this straight. I'm going to try and understand what just happened. You were released on last Friday, right? And 10 minutes later, you're back in the county jail for grand theft, burglary of a vehicle. Why?
Right. And follow-up question, how much bath salt did you have?
Yeah, I mean, did you find someone you got out there? Are you still on it, or what the fuck? Yeah, and you probably go out.
It's a 6-month high, man.
Went down to the corner, got some, came back, sold a bunch of shit. Yeah, no, this guy was looking to have a hell of a party though down there. I'm telling you.
If he had gotten away with it, I would have partied with him. Just saying.
Just for until the cops kicked in.
I would have stole one of his packs of cigarettes.
I want to be this guy's friend.
Until the cops kick in the door at the hotel.
I mean, not my shit.
Not my shit. No.
He said it was his.
Yeah, I'm just here to check on him, see if he's okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm just here for the hookers and cocaine. I mean, I'm here to just make sure he's okay.
He said it was on his tab.
I work here at the hotel. I was just checking to see if he's all right.
Just asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend.
All right, guys, we have reached the end of the episode 5. It has been a long journey here.
It has, because Kyle.
It's been a long fucking day doing this recording.
Flaky.
I am not a flaky. I'm about as flaky as a fucking fish. I mean, that doesn't make sense.
You haven't been here in like 3 weeks?
They're scaly.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Does anybody know what time it is now? See, that's what I'm saying. Nobody knows what day.
I was thinking yesterday was Thursday all day.
Yeah, today's Saturday, right?
Today's quarantine.
April, May.
Quarantine, question mark.
39th or something like
May
that.
May 39th?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm getting close.
2025.
I'll worry about it when I go back to work.
There you go.
Yeah.
When you have to write dates on paper.
Yeah. But as we had said earlier, guys, that we do have next episode a true crime podcast coming. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a fun one that we did. And if you look this guy up, we gave you his name, so you had to listen to the whole podcast. If you didn't catch the name, I'm not giving it to you again. That's your own damn fault.
Yep.
But this guy is...
Subscribe, pay for it.
This is... Yeah. Send us a subscription. Send me a fucking email. And
send an email. I want to hear emails from some of you people.
I know. We need to do another
mailbag.
What do you mean,
you people? Huh?
We need to do another mailbag.
Yeah,
with
we'll do
all
another mailbag.
Fuckers sending us shit. But anyways, yeah. So we're gonna have a true crime episode next episode, and then also on that, we have another interview with Undetermined right now.
It's undetermined.
It's undetermined. We got somebody lined up, but we're not allowed to say just yet because it hasn't been confirmed with him or her. But yeah, it's another good one coming up, and then be sure to check out episodes. What was it, 7 or 8? We're gonna try doing our first video podcast.
Yes, so we'll have something for YouTube, that type deal.
Yes, don't hold us to it because I am not a man of my word, as everybody knows.
Yeah, no.
At least when it comes to this. But.
Well, yeah, we're completely irresponsible.
Yeah, so I might just forget and just say, fuck, I didn't buy it.
Like episode 20, people are gonna be like, hey,
let's still gobble this shit down.
Did not, dude.
Yeah, no doubt.
Didn't do
it.
But once again, guys, make sure to check us out on Facebook @IsAdulting, Twitter @IsAdulting. You can find us on Instagram, AIH_podcast.
I don't think there's an underscore, is there?
Yeah, it's underscore.
Oh shit, never mind.
Yeah, you're the fucker who set it up.
That's why I don't think there's an underscore.
It is.
Okay.
Trust me, guys.
If not, try it without the underscore.
You can also send us an email, podcast @adultingisHard@gmail.com, and you can also check us out on all the other major platforms: YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Acast. And until next time, guys, we're signing off here. I gotta go find my schedule and get ready for work. I gotta get out work clothes again.
I'm not going back to work.
I don't even want to talk about it.
I'm not going back to work.
I get to go back to work.
I'm not going.
I'm happy about it. I'm super excited.
My job's phase 4. I have till June.
Yeah.
But until next time, guys, we will see you. So take care. And remember, adulting is hard. That's why we are here to make it easier on you.